utterly stupid and hideous things these humans are. So clumsy and with such short, almost squig-like noses. Truly there is nothing worse. But these wretched things present an excellent opportunity. With Cacklespit, as always, idling about and allowing these morons to trespass our lands, I can finally bring him down and take my rightful place as leader of our glorious clan. No more sitting in caves drawing stupid and ugly paintings on the walls, more raiding of the dwarfs and hunting for precious food and metals. More conquests in the name of mighty Gork and Mork. The future I see ahead is so wondrous and magnificent I can almost say with the taste on my lips. These foolish humans shall go and slay Cacklespit as he sits there dreaming his purple dreams, and when the deed is done, well, I shall of course do the honourable goblin thing and give them some time to leave our lands. Maybe a whole 5 minutes. And finally, I shall be the one to claim the mighty and potent purple mushrooms. The so-called visions Cacklespit has, they will be mine, and I will use them to guide us to a great and wondrous future, not dwell on the meaningless past as Cacklespit does. Could he turn the tables on me? Impossible. He knows Reichspiel, and might even be able to talk to them, but I have been blessed by Gork and Mork to speak to them properly, using language they understand, even if their minds are utterly pathetic. No, tricking humans is even easier when you speak their language. No? This is Red Moon role-playing. The tunnel is dark, damp, and gloomy. As your small party make your way through, it's very similar to the tunnel you previously were in, but this time it's on the other side of the gorge. You had to cross the water. Luckily, in this part of the gorge there are a couple of natural crossings, which the water goes through, so it wasn't too difficult. As you make your way forwards, you realise quite quickly that you'll have to be careful with your torches, and so only you, Kruger Hoffman, are using your small torch. Everyone else follows in the gloom and the dark. It isn't long before you begin to emerge and see there is some light up ahead. Not much, but it does seem to be coming from some sort of campfire or torch light. So at this point, there's only one way forward, really, although there are a few side tunnels, which you don't think you want to go down. Not unless you want to explore an entire cavern complex, so you don't really think that's a good idea at this moment in time. So, what do you do? There are currently you three, plus the priest captain and this physician. Do you want to have everyone just walk straight ahead, Kruger? Do you want to go off by yourself a little for a moment, scout ahead, or something in between? What do you wish to do, everyone?
Well, I would certainly want to scout on ahead first and make sure that the path is safe and that we're not walking into any kind of ambushes. I mean, we know that the Night Goblins know that we're here and that some of them at least tolerate us, but that doesn't mean that everyone will. And we also know that when we were trying to make a stealthy approach previously, that, well, we most likely got found because not everyone is necessarily the best at stealthy approaches. So, yes, perhaps I shall scout on ahead and then Siegfrieda, you can lead the rest of the party here, just a little bit behind. Would also be nice if you're not too far away. I mean, in case I end up getting involved in a very dangerous, battle, which I would not be able to win by myself.
I raise my eyebrow at you. Kruger, at this time, I know I'm hardly the most agile of foot, but maybe we should be creeping ahead in pairs, and Erica will be with us as well. There may be something that she will spot that you cannot. And for instance, if you fall afoul of a goblin trap or a sniper's shot, an arrow through the neck, you'll want me beside you there and then. I've already abandoned the party once. No, I would prefer to come with you.
Hey, I don't have an issue with that. It'd be nice to have some company, to be honest. I am a little bit worried about these environments, knowing that, well, these creatures know that we're here. We'll leave Heinrich to take care of the rest of the group then.
That seems wise, especially as he has the most in common with the Inquisitor.
Well, it's probably good if there's someone with a level head that can keep that situation under control, I say in a hushed voice.
While I don't announce it to Kruger, I am looking at him as we're talking as if he's a patient, and I'm looking for signs of distress, physical and mental, because he hasn't been himself lately, and I don't think it would be wise to allow him to go by himself. He needs, as pitiful as it is to say it, he needs supervision.
Well then, why don't you roll intuition, Siegfrieda, whilst you, Kruger, if you wish, can roll coolness, but only if you wish, to try and hide your feelings.
I am trying to appear as though I have everything under control. Unfortunately, I rolled a 71 over 36, so probably not hiding it that well.
I get a 40 under 41.
So that would be 1 level of success versus 2 or 3 minus levels. So yes, I'm afraid Siegfrieda can read you, perhaps not like a book, but well enough. So how do you seem truly Kruger Hoffman, despite your attempts to hide it?
Well, one of the things, of course, that's going on is that I'm not really sleeping. So it's very clear from my eyes that, well, they're quite bloodshot and there's rings under my eyes. And I seem to be very... When I speak, I'm trying to speak too quickly. It's that kind of feeling. And I've been a bit irritable also at times. I tried to not make it too obvious, but with some of the other members of the team, I've started seeing some of them like a burden. Like it's their fault that we got found before. If it was just me, I could sneak on by myself and I would be like a shadow. Instead, I have to have all these loud people with me. It's frustrating. So that's what you would notice.
I shake my head a little. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to comment on it. At this point, I suspect it would only make the situation worse. I believe that if Kruger can see me as a friend and ally who is here to assist on the quest rather than support him as a person, it might help him calm down a little, find some stability. I go back to my original diagnosis. While I'm no doctor of the mind, I do believe that what Kruger needs more than anything else is a victory that can't be called into question.
Indeed. And so your party splits ways. You, Heinrich Schilf, and Jocelyn Sparheim remain where you are. Jocelyn seems reasonable to this plan, although she's still very irritated at being here. She lets you two know in no simple terms that if anyone tries to come and attack them, diplomacy's off and she will just begin clearing an exit and getting everyone out of here. But hopefully Heinrich will be able to calm her down. Albin, with his dogs, will remain outside that tunnel. So in a way, you have roughly an exit route if needed. Perhaps not the strongest one, but at least it's there. And so you two will make your way forwards. In that case, could everyone roll me a stealth check? And I'm willing to give everyone a +10, as there's only a small group, and it is a very dark cave.
That is a 49 under 67, so that is 2 degrees of success for Kruger.
I think this is the first stealth roll I have succeeded on. I get a 25 under the improved 42.
Well, in that case, you both move forward fine. No slip-ups, no sudden movements. You, Kruger, realise that it's time to put your own torch out as light is ahead, and so you move forwards. It also seems that Erica is following you quite closely, Siegfrieda, and when she wants to be, Erica can be stealthy too. Maybe not on her own, but with direction. And so, the 3 of you emerge at what appears to be the top of a great cavern. The first thing you notice is the source of light.
There are 4 or 5 very large bonfires in this cavern. The smoke slowly filling the top with an awful lot of, well, steam and mist, although clearly the smoke must go somewhere because the cavern isn't completely full of smoke. Surrounding these bonfires are dozens of night goblins. You count at least 15, ambling about, all armed, some with bows, some with swords and shields, all wearing the classic black cloaks with the little bird decorations on the top. Lots of bird decorations, lots of spikes and wooden areas for sitting in, and palisade walls. In a direction you believe would be west, which is where you've just come from, you see tunnels that eventually lead out to, well, maybe they would lead out to those bridges you saw. You think this tunnel has got you under those, as opposed to going over them. You see some patrols there. Another 4 or 5 night goblins. These ones seem to be armed with bigger shields and are marching in a formation. Leading them is a very large night goblin. Granted, most night goblins are only 3 or 4 feet, but this one's practically 5 feet tall. He's got a big metal nose. Or has he maybe lost his nose and has put some dagger or a bit of metal where it should be? Very big, this one. He's moving away from you towards the south as this patrol seems to be skirting the perimeter. To the south, you see tunnels that are lit not with fire, but with some sort of purplish glow, or a bluish glow. You're not sure what's going on over there, but you can hear lots of squeaking and strange noises of something going on over there, lots of them. But you can't quite see. Nearby the bonfires, you can also see what looks like some sort of dark void. Maybe there's a hole or something there, quite a large one. Around that, Siegfrieda, you see some very strange things. Weird red blobs. No, not blobs. They look a little bit like blobs. They have legs and teeth, and they're sort of bobbing up and down. They seem to be corralled in some sort of fenced-off pen, and you see one night goblin just occasionally hitting them with a stick and nodding to himself. Would you like to roll law medicine, or law anatomy?
I roll a 50 under 74 on law medicine.
A strange bit of lore comes up to you here, because it's not that you know what these creatures are from a bestiary point of view, but you have heard in medicine of something called squig claws, or extract of squig, which is said to be a strange creature that is similar to goblins and orcs, but at the same time completely different, far more fungal. Although apparently they're all fungal in some way. Again, this is all rather obscure research you've read in 1 or 2 books. Could these be cave squigs? Fascinating. I don't think you've ever seen them alive, but yes, maybe you have seen the claws once or twice. There they are, cave squigs. Strange little creatures that, well, can be harvested for several useful things. When they're dead. When they're alive, they can be quite nasty. And they don't seem to look very pleasant from where you are from up here, but at least they're far away and not a danger. But you wouldn't want one of them close. You think they might bite your hand off.
How do I imagine Erica is going to be around them? I know that Erica is, of course, well trained. Is she well trained enough to not just go for one of these monstrosities?
She's growling low at everything in this area, but she won't move until you tell her. As long as you tell her to stay.
Well, I will do that. Stay, Erica.
Towards the east from where you are, again, you're slightly above all this, there are some more tunnel entrances. Some more torches down those. And then there is one other sort of tunnel, and this one has an awful lot of sticks with bird heads on them, and spikes on the walls. Some cave paintings, again, lots and lots of paintings around that cave entrance with pictures of moons and daggers and lots of stick figures all jumping up and down. According to the notes you were given, that's the direction you're supposed to go in. And so, this is the sight you see, Kruger, Hoffman, and Siegfrieda. The question is, what do you do?
Well, I look at Kruger. there's obviously all of these creatures, all of these goblins about the place. We're looking for one in particular, aren't we? We're not wanting to address the entire village.
We certainly don't. No, if we could just take down the one rival of our, well, quest giver, then that would be it. He could perhaps meet some kind of unfortunate accident, and then we could move along. But yes, we do not want to fight the entire tribe. That would be bad. I look around trying to figure out, okay, is there a good way that I could perhaps identify where that leader would be? A way to move around in this area without getting seen?
Certainly. If the map you were given is to be believed, it's that tunnel with all the fancy artwork and sticks. Down there somewhere. To get there, it's simply a case of sneaking out and remaining perfectly unseen and avoiding any patrols. Obviously, you could wait. Good idea. Wait for the patrol currently moving around to just not be in that area, and then just dash for it. Or take your time. Probably would make the stealth check a bit easier, but if you are discovered, well, then you'll be discovered.
Indeed. Well, there's no time like the present, and we do need to try to get this done before, well, our big camp, for example, is found, or something like that happens. So perhaps after this patrol that's currently here has moved on, perhaps that's the time for us to make our move, huh?
Indeed. In that case, you take a moment to wait a minute or two, waiting for one of these patrols to make its way around this large cavern and disappear down another tunnel. The ones all by the bonfires don't seem to be anywhere near you, which is good. You're technically a bit above them, or you can see ways down to them. Your way is, yes, let's try that eastern, from where you are, area. And so you move forward. In that case, once again, could everybody just make a standard this time? Stealth roll.
That is a 38 under 57.
This is a calamity, so I am going to be spending a point of fortune. And it's just as well, 15 under 32. Every stealth roll required, however, is going to severely be pushing it.
Certainly. Well, maybe there won't be too many more. Under Kruger's guidance, you are led forward, Siegfrieda, you and Erica. There is one moment where there is a bit of an incident, because suddenly there's a tunnel you didn't quite see just to the left of you, and you do hear some noises coming from that direction. It catches Siegfrieda off guard, but luckily, fate and fortune are on her side, and she's able to move back just as Kruger does, and ignore the strange creatures that suddenly come running out of one of the tunnels. These things, contrary to the 5-foot Night Goblin, are only 1 foot. Practically miniature, smaller than even an average Night Goblin, and they have no weapons. They're just in rags, and there's about 10 of them. They just run forward, bouncing along, pushing each other as they move forward, and then they just run off to the east. They're followed very briefly by a Night Goblin carrying a big stick, yelling something, and he just runs after them. Could those have been snotlings? Fascinating, Siegfrieda. So many things from the page of the book now seen in real life. How does that make you feel?
Well, it opens my eyes and my mind. I had no idea that so many of these creatures could live in a single place. If they are still unaware of us, I think taking this opportunity to remain hidden and observe them is really quite precious. Yes, it is a divergence, a distraction, but I need to keep my mind on the task at hand. We're not here as ecologists. We're not supposed to be studying their behaviours and noting them down. These are not wild animals, not all of them anyway.
What about you, Kruger? Close call there. If you'd been a bit slower, you'd have, run straight into these small little snotlings, which probably would have just barreled straight into you.
It is very concerning, but then again, this is to be expected. We are on their turf now, and people live and supposedly, I guess, work or whatever you would call it this is where they spend most of their time, so we will have to do this quickly, but of course try to remain in the shadows as best as we can.
Indeed. And so you make your way to that ominous tunnel. Again, you can clearly see now it is surrounded by pictures of the moon, strange sticks with bird skulls on. It's an awful lot like the symbols you saw earlier. This bird, is this the symbol of their clan? Makes sense, but why a bird? Bird's head, rather. Interesting. Coming from the tunnel is a purplish glow. What do you two do? You've made it to your destination, but now it's another tunnel, and you can't see what's on the other end other than this purplish light.
I point that out to Siegfrieda. That could be the place, huh?
Purple has rarely been a good omen for us, so let's remain cautious, and I look firmly at Kruger. I want his eye contact. I don't want him distracted. I don't want him worried or off in his own mind. So I want his eyes on mine. Kruger, I know you think it may be dishonorable, but if we see this creature, this monster, this shaman, and you have the ability to remove him from a distance, complete our task without declaring our presence, I think remaining stealthy may be the best course. Let's not forget we have to make our way back through this cave filled with these creatures.
Oh, I agree. If I can assassinate him from the shadows, that would certainly be what I would want to do.
I grimace a little at that. The idea of just advocating for an assassination is very much against what I believe in, but I think it's the only way we can be guaranteed to survive.
It's not an honourable thing, but then again, honour hasn't necessarily been my thing, I say, laughing a little bit and then realising that of course I need to try to keep quiet here. Alright, well, let's get it done. And I'll begin moving forward then, leading the way towards this purple light, and what I hope will then be the shaman, positioned perfectly to accept some form of bolt to the head.
Indeed. You begin moving forwards carefully and quietly. You eventually find yourselves in a larger cavern. The source of the purple glow is a gigantic purple mushroom? Staggeringly massive, the size of 20 or 40 mushrooms. It's practically a giant rock, but no, it's a mushroom. And it's glowing bright purple, with a speckled purple pattern on it. You've never seen anything like it, especially you, Siegfrieda. The apothecarists would have a field day with a mushroom this size, and why does it glow purple? You have no idea. On the walls of this cavern are several little side areas, which you can't quite see at the moment, but they seem to have lots of boxes and be filled with things. You think you catch a hint of gold, a hint of a weapon here and there. There are pictures, more of these murals, which are fascinating. Again, Siegfrieda, you see just next to you a strange mural. There's a little figure with that bird head. It's running out of some sort of house, and there's someone on the ground with blood around them. Some sort of other stick figure on the ground covered in blood, and this little figure with a bird head just running away. And then next to that, there's a picture of another little stick figure, and they're in some sort of room with lots of chairs, and there's lots of stick figures lying down, and there's lots of blood all around them. And you see this as well, Kruger. Would you like to roll an intuition check, either of you?
Yeah, perhaps you can do that, Siegfrieda.
Okay, I rolled an 18 under 41.
Well, the one with all the people on the floor naturally means nothing to you. And the other one is impossible. It's not that. It is not that day. That's impossible. That bird thing is not you, and that isn't It just isn't. You know that. It's not that. It can't be.
No. Well, obviously this isn't the first time we've seen something like this before, and I dismissed it then, and I deny it now. There is no way that these goblins will have known of our arrival, of our approach, that we could have appeared in their dreams and visions.
Of course not, and there's no way they would know something that nobody knows. You haven't told a soul about that day.
No.
As you're thinking that, you also notice there's another one of some sort of tunnel, and there's again a stick figure with someone with a very big hat, and they're stabbing someone through some bars. It looks like someone in a cage, and they're stabbing them.
Someone caged being stabbed. I say to Kruger, do you ever recall a time where there was a prisoner who was murdered, or someone we had captured that was murdered, or maybe this is something that's going to happen? And I trail off. No, I'm not going to get caught up in this.
Hearing that, I just think back to my own time and what I suppose was a cage, right, when I was being tortured and almost killed. But it's not that, is it?
Well, no. I mean, maybe, but they didn't have a big hat on. No, this person has a big hat and a rapier. Strange.
That is strange. But yes, we have to focus. We have to take out this shaman. That's what we gotta do. So I'll try to tear my attention away from these figures, these drawings, and continue looking for our target.
You skulk forwards, and you see a target. Seated on top of the great purple mushroom is a Night Goblin. They have a very big cowl on. Their back is perfectly to you as they're sort of just sitting squat-legged on this purple mushroom, holding in one hand a long staff with a bunch of bird skulls and bird feathers on it. And at this point you also notice this cave is full of fumes. Something nearby is filling the air with some sort of purple haze. Still, there they are, and you've caught them completely unaware, it seems.
Based on everything that we've learned, does this seem to be our target?
There's no one else here.
No. And this does seem to be a place that a shaman might spend some time in.
From what you know of Night Goblin shamans, sure, why not?
We'll just have to try it out then. I'll take out my crossbow and I'll get ready to fire.
Indeed. You take it out, load the arrow, get into position, finger on the trigger. You pause. This is perfect. You haven't made a single sound. This thing hasn't become aware of you at all. A few more seconds and you think you'll have a perfect headshot. And just as your finger goes on the trigger, the figure lifts one hand lazily up in the air, doesn't turn around, and says, "Oh, you shoot me in the back, Caster Shilfy Shilfs, or is it Caster Offy Ones? Don't you want to know where the big shiny hammer is? Just saying."
Where is it?
"Well, I'll tell you if you don't shoot me in the back of the head."
Will you allow us and the rest of our crew to pass through here unharmed then?
"If you don't shoot me in the back of the head, sure. Why don't we have a little chat, say? It goes much better when we have a little chat. Much better than when you shoot me in the head. That don't go so well for you. Not because of me, but because of everything else that might happen. I haven't seen that in the shrooms, but I have seen all the stuff that happens when you haven't shot me in the head. So are you not going to shoot me or not?"
And having heard about the hammer, and that this goblin seemingly knows about it, I look to Sigfrida and I say, hey, maybe this could make everything go a lot quicker, don't you think?
I sigh. There is always something.
There certainly is. Well, if he can't give us what we want, we can still kill him, I suppose, so. I say that last part quietly, hoping that he won't hear it.
No, you are correct. I'm not going to dispute that.
What do, Kruger Hoffman? On one hand, yes, negotiations, but on the other hand, you do have him dead on. Although, it would occur to you that it's impossible that he knew you were here. And it's also impossible that he'd know... Well, he didn't get your name right, but... Did he say Castor? And then he said Hoffman.
Shilfy.
Exactly. And then he said Shilfy as well. Something's going on here, and it's all impossible. He shouldn't know any of these names or information.
No, he should not. He should not. Well then, tell us what you know. Tell us what you know and we'll consider it. And we can perhaps make a deal. We want the hammer.
The Night Goblin stands up and begins to turn. His staff now easily in hand. Whatever happens next, Kruger, you have now lost surprise. This being probably will defend itself now if you do try and shoot it, but well, you can get to that when you get to it. The Night Goblin faces you. It has the same sort of reddish eyes as most of its kin, although in this case one of them is 2 or 3 times larger than the other. Very bulbous and vacant looking, while the other one is a lot smaller. Again, long green ears, long hooked nose. It's slavering at the jaw. There's an awful lot of purple ichor around its mouth and nose, and it's splattered actually with an awful lot of purple on its robes. It looks at you and says, "So, Yumis, we're gonna have a little chat? I would love a little chat. Let's have a chat. It goes well when we have a chat. I've seen it in the shrooms, yes."
Well, that's good if you've seen it in the shrooms. Let's have that chat then, yes. You know why we're here, and you know why we are here, right? You know that we've been offered passage.
Course I does. Old Moon Gobber. He said, "I'm here, knock me off, and he'll let you go." You humies know he's not gonna do that, right? He's gonna stab you good in the back second you've done the job.
The thought did occur to me, I say, looking to Siegfrieda.
Yes, see? Smart Oomies. Not stupid Oomies, smart. Moongobber's stupid. Moongobber thinks you stupid. I don't. I thinks you's gonna go and do lots of special thingies.
Lots of special thingies.
Yes, special thingies. Wave round big hammers, look at pretty fireworks, do lots of hummy things, lots of jumping up and down. Very fun.
And you want to help us with that?
No.
So, why are you offering to, other than to save your own life, unless that, I suppose that could be reason enough?
'Cause good things happen when you does what you's gonna do's. For gobbos. Don't give a toss about Yumis.
I see. Well, in that case, good sir, if you could direct us to the hammer, we will be out of your hair and your caves, and you will...
Oh, it's not so fasties, Yumis, not so fasties. He takes a moment to move his stick back and forth, and then takes something out of his person, some sort of purple mushroom, a smaller one, and just eats it. Oh, not so fasties. You do's favours for me. Easy favours, much better than the favours you's gonna do's for old Moongobber. Easy peasy. Gawk and squeezy.
Easy sounds good. What do you need us to do?
Wells, Moongobber's outside, isn't he? Waiting for yous to come out and says, "We does it. We slit his throat." And he's gonna come in, say, "Well donesies," and then go out and then backstab you all. So all I need you to do is let me walk over theirs, and he points over at a small little alcove. Tell him you's done the jobbies, and then's get him in ears. That's it. And then I tells yous where's your biggie hammers is, and you can go and do whatever the zogging hell you want. 'Cause, it's good. I've seen it. Lots of good things. You does all the special things, and it all happens. Unless it doesn't, 'cause sometimes it doesn't happen, like I see in the shrooms, you know. Sometimes it's different. She's not wearing the mask. That's a shame. You look better in that. Birdie, big toughy birdie. It's good looks.
I'm rubbing my temples. So we're being told by one goblin to kill the other, and we're being told by another goblin to kill the other, or to mislead the other. We are more or less under the impression that both of them will betray us.
You can make an intuition check if you wish, Siegfrieda.
Yes, I have very little understanding of goblins or an ability to how to read them. I know that they would stab us in the back at the first possible opportunity. The only thing I want to determine from examining this particular shaman is, does he actually know where the hammer is? So I will try to make an intuition roll.
Give yourself a +10.
I'm glad you gave me that +10, Craig, because I have got a 49 out of 51.
There are two differences between this Night Goblin and the other one. Number one, the other one let you know several times how stupid and idiotic you were, while this one has been nothing but compliments. Number two, this one claims to know the info you seek, while the other one claimed to have no idea what you were talking about. Also seems to know several things it shouldn't know, while the other one didn't know anything about you, really.
Well, yes. In that regard, this one seems to be the horse we should back. Especially as he seems to have been imparted with some visions as to our quest and progress. I turn to you, Kruger. I think we have to support this one. I don't see an alternative.
I agree.
Just in case you weren't aware, I am the boss around here. Moongobber is my secondies. So supporting me is supporting the actual boss. If that wasn't clear.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better about consorting with Night Goblins, thank you.
Yes. We're quite used to working with the powers that be and supporting the existing power structures. Certainly, we can do that. So, just head over to old Moongobber and tell him that the deed's been done, and that he should come and check it out for himself. That it?
Certainly. Makes a good showsies. Use your smart words. He's not stupid, although he is stupid. Oscar the eyes over ears. Shush! Big surprises! And with that, he ambles over, suddenly very quickly, off the mushroom, leaping down, and heads into this small little alcove, which seems to have a bit of a rag on it. And there he goes.
Well, that's it then. I'll nod to Siegfried and then begin leading us out then, back to Moongobber. Give him the news that the deed is done, even though it very much isn't.
Then you don't have to wait long. Almost if on cue, as soon as you exit, you see waiting for you is Moongobber, with two other Night Goblins by his sides. They're looking around carefully. You notice they seem to be keeping an eye out for patrols. And Moongobber just suddenly moves forward with his stick. Clicks his teeth a little. You see again a little bit of a shimmer of green coming from the staff around his mouth as he says, "Wonderful, stupid little humans. Have you actually done the task? I hope it wasn't too difficult, considering your intellect and your species don't do much useful at all. Have you actually done the task? I hope so. That would be wondrous."
It's done. He's suffered for a long time.
I don't really need to know that. Let's go then, yes.
And he suddenly rushes ahead of you. What do? Seems he leaves the other two behind.
Then, maybe we want to see this. I'll move to try to follow behind, just to see if we can maybe back up this new boss of ours if it's needed.
Certainly. You and Siegfrieda move back. Makes sense, you don't want to be hanging around with random Night Goblins. Erica's being very well behaved. And you get back just in time to see Moongobber looking around, frowning. Humans, I understand that doing tasks is difficult for you, but where is the body? I wanted to, how do you say, jump up and down on it and use it as a latrine.
It's right over there.
Yes, we tucked it away in that tunnel.
He nods and moves forward. As this happens, a great green light suddenly erupts from where you know Shaman Cacklespit is hiding. It fries Moongobber, causing him to shriek out almost in pain, but luckily not too much because he's too busy suffering under whatever weird magic this is. And as Cacklespit suddenly jumps out from his hiding place, you see that the green energy seems to have come from his eyes. This is utterly bizarre. Cacklespit then runs over to Moongobber with his staff and very quickly starts beating him to death, saying, "How many times do a zoggin has to tell ya that I is the big boss, you stupid Moongobber?" And he beats him again and again and again and again, green blood mixed with red, spilling all over Cacklespit.
I mutter to myself, I don't think those wounds are survivable.
I shake my head. Well, at least it's done. And I didn't have to do it. That feels good.
After a few more kicks, it seems as if Moongobber is now a pasty mess on the floor. It seems that this Cacklespit is a little more vicious than he initially appeared. But it seems to fade off as he just looks at you with a glazed expression and says, "Here we go, humans. Wasn't so bad, was it? See, we's buddies now, ain't we?"
Yes, the best of friends. Well, you have what you wanted, and we can perhaps now discuss about, well, us getting what we wanted, and we can go our separate ways, and you can continue to control this tribe as best you see fit.
The Madclaw tribe, Madclaw clan, bestest clan, yes?
Oh, the best Night Goblin clan that we have come across, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, 'cause I sees what the shrooms tell me. I is blessed, you see, by Gork and Mork. That's why I seen you lot having your little adventures.
Did you happen to see how our adventures will end? Will we save the Empire?
Wills, either you save your empires, or you all die horribly. Either or, he shrugs.
Well, I suppose those are some of the options or possible outcomes. I said, nodding to Siegfrieda.
That's right, Umi, seeing the shrooms in the mists. Many paths, yes, and some go one way, but some, they go another way. Lucky for you, I know most ways most of the time.
Well, it certainly sounds like you are the wisest goblin that we've ever met.
Wisest, strongest, bestest. Better than yous, but that's okay, 'cause we's friendies now.
Yes, we are friends.
Absolutely.
So's, how to do this? I was gonna go get all the boys, let 'em know the good newsies. I recommend sticking by a moment, otherwise if they sees you running away, they's gonna think you's up to no goods and they stab you, yes?
We'll follow your instruction.
Goods. Then, yeah, you can go get your hammers. Just keep going forwards, get a waterfall, and go here. You beat up all the demonsies, and you got your hammers.
Demons?
Yes, lots of them. Lots of chaosies, lots of demonies. Good luck.
Lots, you say?
What kind of demons? Give us more information.
All of them, big ones, nasty ones. Lots of teeth.
Lots of teeth. Okay, that's a start. How big? The size of this cave? Smaller? The size of a human? The size of a goblin?
Real big cave. Not gone in there. You know, it's 'cause we dies when we goes in, so why would we go in? That's why you's gonna help us. You goes in, get hammer. I say, no more demonsies. And we can go in and get stuff.
So let me get this right. Lick Spittle. And I'm aware that I got his name wrong.
Cacklespit. Cacklespit.
Yumi, come on, not difficult. I can speak your languages.
Yes, of course you can, and again, another demonstration of your intellect. There are multiple demons, each the size of a cave, or there is one cave containing multiple demons?
He shrugs.
I know.
Are they... And I am trying to find as much information from this incredibly reliable source as possible. Can they... And I'm not going to talk down to him. Can they incant magic? As in, are they sorcerers? Or are they simply beasts that flail around and skewer things? This is important.
Oh, all of them.
So some are fighters, and some are sorcerers.
He squints a little and goes over to one of the cave paintings on the wall.
Some of them bitey, some of them throwy big purple lightning, yeah. I don't know, we don't go in and beat up the demons, that's stupid. You're the stupid ones. Sorry, I mean clever ones who want to beat up demonsies.
I smile. Well, in that regard you are probably correct.
Well, that's what you has to do to get your hammers. That's where it is. That's where the big man with the big hammer went and put it when he was fighting off the big birdie man.
Would you happen to know of any way to stay undetected to these demons, or you just don't go there? That's what you do, right? You just stay away.
We don't go there. Stupid. Why goes there and get killed and stay here and not get killed? See, I know Yumis aren't used to thinking clever. You Yumis, you're not so bad. Most Yumis not very clever, right? You do things like go and get killed. Gobbos only do things when we're gonna win. We don't do them when we're gonna lose. Like our chat. I knew you'd pick right path because you get stuff, whereas if you'd shot me in the head, you'd have got nothing. Moongobber would have stabbed you all. You probably would have killed Moongobber, but lots of stabbing all round. That gets nobody nothing.
That is true. Well, thank you then. We'll make our way to this demon cave then and try to avoid getting killed and see if we can perhaps clear it for you. And then you could spread your tribe there too.
Yep. Gonna spread my core all over. I've seen it in the shrooms. All over mountains, all over stunties, all over orksies. But don't worry, we'll go different way. You lot, I've seen it. There'll be lots of fireworks, lots of jumping up and down, lots of fun times for humies.
That sounds promising, I say, smiling.
Yeah, look, see?
And he points at a picture. And the picture has what looks like a lot of square, crude buildings. Could this be a town or a city? And above it, a big purple blotch.
See? Big firework.
Yeah, that certainly is big. Does it tell me anything? I mean, does it look like anything we have experienced thus far?
Certainly not. You think you'd have noticed a gigantic purple firework in the sky. Is that maybe Middenheim? But there were lots of fireworks in Middenheim, not just one, and this one is very big indeed. So no, you have not seen this before.
Perhaps that is something that is awaiting us then. Well, thank you then. And, I guess, see you later.
Hang on, you gotta come with me first, Yumis, or you get stabbed when you leave. Come on, use the noggin.
Well,
Zoggin Yumis.
if you are willing to lead us, of course. Then let's go.
He moves forward very quickly. Clearly, he doesn't want to lead you slowly, in case you decide to change your mind and shoot him. Do you follow? Whatever happens next, it seems this goblin will be alerting people to your presence. But again, it doesn't seem like he's about to betray you.
Well, we have a potential conundrum here, and I'll say this with my hand gently on Kruger's shoulder. If we head deeper in with him, we may well... He could be telling the truth. He could lead us to this cave full of demons, to where the hammer is, or at least a little closer to it. But the farther we go from our camp, the farther away we are from our companions. I trust in your ability, Kruger, and I trust in Erica. And I pause. No, I trust my own ability as well. What makes me cautious is the scope of these demons. We brought along a small militia, nearly an army, to contend with whatever we found here, and right now it's just going to be 2 humans and a dog.
One thing you do notice, Kruger, is he's not leading you anywhere new. He's leading you back the way you came currently.
Yes. But you are right, though. There is a risk. Just have to stay vigilant, and at least now we head back to the people that we brought with us. And I think the idea is still the same, right? We take this small team and we try to secure the hammer. No point in trying to bring the entire group, right? Or?
Well, the only hesitation I have is if we bring the entire group through, it may agitate the goblins to the point that they attack. But at the same time, those same goblins, if they are unreliable enough, chaotic enough to just attack, could see it being just us two and Erica and thinking, well, those are easy pickings. There's a lot more of them than there are of us. So I wager that going back and informing our camp is probably the wisest course.
Seems there's a split of opinion, but something definitely to think on. As for now, you move on forwards, following this shaman to whatever future awaits you.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the legendary campaign The Enemy Within for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, published by Cubicle 7. In this final part of the series, we are tackling Empire in Ruins. Joining us as players in this series are none other than Aaron Hammonds from Queen's Court Games and our dear friend Matthew Dawkins. The music was made by Flowers for Body Snatchers, Wordclock, Metatron Omega, Ager Sonus, Apocryphus, Halgrath, and Northumbria, featuring a number of collaborations with other artists, and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, Lily, Mike Parker, Maciej, and Black Templar for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay bonus campaign, Rough Nights and Hard Days, as well as bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost and Call of Cthulhu there. On top of that, we also offer early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that Skaven are definitely not real, and even if they were, the Emperor has already dealt with that particular problem.